And you know, it's awful when you have to go to the bathroom, especially if you think you're going to be killed. Opening night of our hotel, I was doing the act for the first time. This act we had with 4 boys, dancers, you know, and we were dancing and entertaining and everything. And this was the first night we were open, and we had worked really, really hard. And he got up in the middle of the whole act and left and went up the street to the another hotel to find his mistress.
And then you confronted him, and he said, well, let's not talk about it here. Let's go out on this 12th floor balcony, this very narrow little balcony, and discuss it. And you foolishly were suspicious that he might want to push you over.
Yes, well, we had $1 million life insurance. He had on my life, and I had on his life. So I suddenly, when he said that, I felt like perhaps he might take my hand and throw me over, because I had been waiting up for him, because he was supposed to be home really early, and he had told me to be home at my apartment, and we'd have a visit and, you know, be together. And instead, he was very late, it was about 5 in the morning he got home. So he was starting to reach for me, and I just had a premonition that I was going over the balcony, because he was a big fellow. He's tall and good looking, all the right things. He's good looking. So, and I'm sorry that it had to end this way. When he reached for me, I said, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. So I just ran for my little dressing room, and I climbed up this little ladder I had, and I hid behind these purses I had, big purses, you know, that you girls put everything in, you know how we put everything in. So I hid a bunch of about 20 purses, and I hid behind there. And I heard him looking for me everywhere. He was banging the doors and calling for me. So I was all behind the bags. That's an interesting, I didn't know that. I just thought about that. I'm an old bag behind the bags. So I hid behind the bags for I don't know how long. And I kept waiting, you know, for him to find me, because I would hope he wouldn't find me, and he didn't find me, and I just stayed behind the bags. And then I heard the door close, so I was really scared, and I just stayed there. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And you know, it's awful when you have to go to the bathroom, especially if you think you're going to be killed. And after hours and hours, I got up and I went to look at the door, and he wasn't there. So I quickly put the chain on the door and everything on the door, and then I called security and I said, don't let him back in, and I never saw him again. So that was the end. It was over.
The Paddle Wheel Hotel is going up for auction. Debbie and Richard Hamlett, her third husband, purchased this hotel, and I was kind of blown away that they had done it, but I thought, hey, that's cool. Let's build a really neat project for my mom. Man, this place was spectacular. Debbie was so proud. She was just so into what she was doing. Her dream, her own little club where she could perform the rest of her days in front of her people and her audience. But Richard Hamlett was hell-bent on taking it down.
He was a slick hustler. Hey, how there, little lady?
Oh, you look
Hi, Gal.
handsome. How
Last
do you
time I
feel?
saw you, you were on television.
So he's going to tell you how gorgeous you are and fun and flatter you and then steal everything.
I'm the one who caught him stealing the money.
Boy, are these nails.
She had individually guaranteed all of the debts.
Help, is this the Bank of America?
And to think that I made him my father in Harry Met Sally is so grotesque. She said, you know, Eddie's starting to look pretty good to me. All he did was cheat on her. Not cheater.
Amount I was awarded by divorce court, $8,900,000. Total of legal bills to chase my ex, $1,400,000. Money collected from husband number 3, next to nothing. Feeling I had getting rid of that philandering devil with the killer blue eyes. Priceless.